If you've got WordPress installed on your hosting plan, you've got a powerful content management system at your fingertips. Just like humans can accomplish more by working in collaboration with others, WordPress realizes that to add the most value to their users, they need to allow for integration with outside partners to be even better, even more valuable to the end user, you. This collaboration is accomplished through the installation of plugins, and in this video, I'll show you 6 must-have plugins that you can easily install for free to optimize and protect your site and save you time. Let's do this. Thanks for joining me again. This is video 8, how to easily install 6 must-have WordPress plugins. Kevin Stryker with TRU LIFT Digital Marketing, back with you again. And this video is part of a video series titled, How to Easily Create a Web Presence for Your Business, Even If You Have Zero Technical Skills. The series is designed to walk you through the steps required to go from no website and social presence, or at least one that is not serving you well, to a functioning website and social presence, with the ability to track the actions of your website and social visitors, and be able to remarket to those visitors, all as quickly as possible so that you can get busy doing what needs to get done in your business. If you've been following along in this series and checking off items on your Ultimate Web Presence checklist, you will have WordPress installed on your site and learned a good chunk of information about how to get around in WordPress and to create your content in the last video on WordPress basics. If you want to check out or rewatch any of the previous videos in this series, there is a link on your screen right now to do that, as well as in the description area below or beside this video, wherever you see it. This is really a continuation of the WordPress Basics video, in that the installation of plugins within WordPress just takes the solid content management system platform that WordPress has already provided to you and allows you to add on to it to enhance the awesome functionality. While there are certainly many more plugins you can install and likely will install, depending on the specific needs of your business's website, these foundational plugins are a solid base from which to start, and I'll explain why as we go along. My wish is for you to have the best functioning website and web presence that you can have, so let's get at it. Picking up from where we left off in video 7, WordPress Basics, we are inside of your, or in this case my, WordPress dashboard. Let's just go down the sidebar on the left side and click on Plugins. This is what your plugins page looks like out of the box. WordPress may have changed their user interface by the time you view this video, so things out of the box may be slightly different in this plugins area, but the general layout should look something like this. Before we go any further, if you're not sure what a plugin is, there's a pretty straightforward idea of what they do up here at the top in Help, in addition to other documentation and support forums. Essentially, plugins extend and expand the functionality of WordPress. I kind of think of it like this following analogy, which may not be 100% technically accurate, but should get the point across. Think of a smartphone, like an iPhone by Apple or a Galaxy phone, for example, that runs on the Google Android operating system. On the Apple iPhone, you can go to the App Store and purchase and/or download apps or applications that run on your phone that are not created by Apple but by third parties, but still run on your Apple device. Or if you're an Android user, you could go to the Google Play Store and purchase and upload your app there. These apps extend the functionality of your phone. Your phone can now do more stuff. Just like plugins, usually created by third-party developers, extend the functionality of your WordPress site. By default, WordPress pre-installs some plugins for you. In this case, there are 5 plugins that have been installed. Each plugin that you add to your WordPress backend requires 2 to 3 steps to be fully operational. They first have to be installed, which I'll show you shortly, is just downloading the program. Then to make it work, kind of like turning it on, you have to have the plugin activated. And then sometimes, to set up how you want it to work specifically for you and your application, you then have to configure the plugin. You'll notice that the first 2 plugins have a white background, meaning that they are installed but not activated yet. The other 3 have a blue background, which means they are installed and activated. The first plugin I want to talk about installing is actually already installed. It's this Akismet plugin here at the top. We just need to get it activated. Akismet is a hugely popular plugin that helps control the vast amount of spam comments that you would receive if you didn't have it installed. No one needs spam, so to activate it, simply click on Activate. Then just click on Activate your Akismet account. This particular plugin requires an API key in order to get it activated. To get that key, you'll have to sign up for WordPress.com. Just click on Get Your API Key, which will open up a new tab so you can do just that. Just click on Get an Akismet API Key. Akismet is asking you if you have a WordPress.com account. This is not the same as your login for your WordPress dashboard. If you ever created a WordPress hosted site in the past, which we talked about in previous videos, where the URL of your site would have been yourwebsite.wordpress.com, then you would have a .com account. But if you have never had a WordPress hosted site, but instead have your hosting with a third-party hosting company, like I do with HostGator, then you likely do not, and will have to fill out this form to get your API key. Just enter in your email address, a username, and password. It will tell you on the side what they require for that. I do have an account from previous websites I've created, but I'll create a new account for the purpose of this video to show you. I'll just quickly add my info. If you downloaded and are using the Web Presence Password Tracker from previous videos in this series, feel free to copy your email address, username, and password for WordPress.com to the respective fields in the WordPress section. If you are not sure what the password tracker is or would like to download your own, there is a link in the top right of your screen right now and links in the description area below this video. And then before you hit sign up, if you want, you can take a look at the terms of service. If you're okay with that, then just click sign up. I'll just close this browser pop-up. Now it's asking you to pick your plan. I said earlier that all of the plugins that we will install in this video are free, so don't worry. If you want the Plus or the Premium plan, go ahead, but I'm just going to click on Get Basic. Now I can say firsthand that Akismet is a great plugin and has served me well, so if you want to volunteer a payment to help support them, then nothing wrong with that. Just fill in the credit card information on the left. For me, I'm just going to slide this slider to the left to 0, and then just enter my first and last name on the left. If you want to check out the terms and privacy policy, you can do that here, and then click Continue. This pop-up says, looks like you're adding a site. Indeed I am. So just click the link, Activate this site. And there you go. Akismet is now activated. Below you can modify a few settings for how your spam is blocked and also see what kind of account you subscribe to on the right. Even though you can get back to this screen in your WordPress admin dashboard inside of plugins by clicking on settings for this plugin, which I will show you right away, it can hurt to copy this API key and put it with the rest of your web presence passwords and contact details in your password tracker, or keep it safe wherever you're keeping those kinds of things. It used to be that you had to manually enter your key back in your original tab. I'm almost positive that you no longer have to do that, as it did say that my plugin was activated, but just to make sure, I'm going to go back to the original tab and paste my API key in here and click Use this key. And then I'm just back to the same screen as I was in the previous tab. Pretty sure that extra step is redundant, but that's the way I've done it for years, so I'll play it safe by manually entering the key. If I go back to the side of my dashboard and click on Plugins and scroll up a bit, the Akismet plugin is in blue, so we're good. Now I'll just point out that for any plugin that you have installed, you have the ability to edit that plugin here, deactivate it, and if the option is available here, you can check out the plugin settings. Let's just click on Settings to quickly show you that. This just takes us back to the screen that we were previously on. I just wanted to show you how to get here from the plugins area should you need your API key for anything, but I also wanted to show you that once Akismet has been running on your site for a while and you click on the settings for Akismet, like we just did, you will see something more like this. It gives you an idea of how many spam messages have been blocked. This is a screenshot I took from one of my other sites that has been running Akismet for quite a while. Okay, that's it for plugin number 1, Akismet. Let's move on to number 2. I'll just go back to the plugins on the left side and click on it. To add a new plugin, I could click on Add New at the top of the screen. But before I do that, however, I just want to clean up my plugin area a bit by getting rid of these 2 tiles for Opt-in Monster and Jetpack. They are already installed, so I won't be uninstalling them, but rather just getting rid of these reminders about getting them connected. If you want to keep these here to remind you, that's fine. But I'll just click this X here, and this X here. And those reminders are cleared off my screen. Jetpack may be deactivated now as a consequence of doing that, but if I want to reactivate it, I would just simply click on the Activate tab in the Jetpack tile below. To add plugin number 2, I can either go to the side column here below Plugins and click Add New, or I can go up to the top and click Add New here. Then I'll just slide my cursor over to Search Plugins, click on it, and enter WP SuperCache and hit Enter. This is the one that I'm interested in here, the one by Automatic. This plugin helps with the speed of your website, which is very important for user experience and for robot experience also, meaning Google and other search engines. The longer load times your pages have, the greater chance viewers will click away. One of the first things I do when I'm about to install a new plugin is to look at the star rating. This one has 4.5 stars, which is pretty good. That wouldn't be impressive if there was only 5 people that reviewed it, but in this case there are reviews from 904 people. Then I look at how many times it was installed, or how many active installs there are, as an indication of how good it might potentially be. This one has over 1 million active installs, so that's a pretty good sign as well. Then I look at when it was last updated. If it was 4 years ago, I'd be a little worried, as that might indicate that the developer has moved on to other projects and has left this one to die a slow death, and that it might no longer be compatible with other programs or plugins. This one says last updated 6 months ago. WordPress tends to do a rather significant upgrade on average about every 4 months, so ideally I would like to see this a little more recent, but sometimes there's really nothing to change, so this could be accepted. Much longer than this though, and I'd have greater reservation. And then here is a bit of a flag, in that it is not yet tested with the current version of WordPress that I am running. This is potentially problematic in that the plugin may be susceptible to bugs or crashes related to incompatibility with the latest WordPress update. But then again, like I said, WordPress tends to update very regularly, so it is tough to always keep up with them. Remember, WordPress is open source, meaning that it likely has many developers from all across the world working on improving it, so being completely up to date all the time is fairly unrealistic. To get more details, I'll click on More Details. This tells me that this plugin is compatible up to WordPress version 4.5.4. If you are not sure what version you are currently using, I'll show you how to find out that information in just a second. You can scroll down for more detail if applicable, click on some reviews if you want, etc. You can click on the Installation tab for more information in that area that you may be interested in or require. You can look at the changelog, which is just a record of updates made. You can scroll through the frequently asked questions to get a good comfort level or learn more about the plugin. The Other Notes tab may be interesting, and then in this case, a separate tab for reviews. So once you are satisfied that you want to continue and install the plugin, you can either go back to the search page to install it, or click on the Install Now button below, which I'm going to do. Once the Activate button comes up, I know that it has been installed, and I'll click Activate to activate the plugin. It tells me that the plugin is activated. With WP SuperCache, there's one more step that is required, which is to enable caching. So I'll click the link to the plugin admin page. And all I have to do here is click on the radio button here to turn caching on, and then click Update Status. Then there is a bit of a warning that pops up, but as it says here, if you just installed WP SuperCache for the first time, you can dismiss this message. So I'll click the Dismiss link. Now if I want, I can click here to test the cache, but I'm not even live yet, and there is essentially nothing on my site, or at least very little in terms of content, so I'll do that at another time, once I go live. I'm just going to keep all of the default settings in the tabs above, in Advanced, CDN, Contents Preload, Plugins, and Debug. So in addition to being able to find WP SuperCache in the Plugins section, should I need it for some reason in the future, it is now also part of my sidebar in my dashboard down here. Now before I go to the next plugin, I mentioned earlier that I'll show you how to find which version of WordPress you are using. If you scroll down to the bottom of any page, you will see it there. In this case, 4.6.1. And then if you hover over the W in the top left of your screen and click on About WordPress, you can also see what current version of WordPress you are running there as well. Let's just go back to plugins and click on it. From time to time, actually quite regularly, these plugins will be updated by the respective developers, and you will see a message like this one that a new version is available. If you want to know what is changing with the plugin, you can click on the link with the details, but all you have to do to update it is click on Update Now. And there you go, a little check mark telling you it is updated. And that update reminder box has gone away. You'll notice that WP SuperCache is blue, so it is installed, activated, and ready to go. So 2 plugins down, 4 more to go. Now in creating your website, what you are doing, like I've mentioned in previous videos, is creating a really powerful asset. And with everything important, you will want to protect it just in case something goes wrong with it, or perhaps even worse, it gets hacked. Now because protecting or backing up your site is so important, I want to make sure you are aware of some of your options before I tell you about the plugin that I will be installing on my site so that you can make the best decision for yours. If you have been viewing this entire video series, you may remember from video 3 when we signed up for your hosting account with HostGator, there was an option that you could have signed up for an additional $1.67 per month or annual amount of $19.95 to have your site backed up using a company by the name of CodeGuard. If you went with that plan, that's cool. I think it's actually $5 a month if you don't go with HostGator. I mentioned that I don't use that service, but I do still want to have a backup of my stuff, so the question is, what other options are open to you? The good news is there are many. I'll quickly show you a few and share some quick thoughts on them. So if I go over to Marketplace on the side and hover over it, and then go over to Services and click on that, you go into the Mojo Marketplace section. I'll just scroll down a bit to this Backup Your WordPress website area and click on this Details button. So for a one-time fee of $99, you can get automatic backups completed on your site for 12 months. If I scroll down a bit, you can see some more of the features. It will back up to Amazon S3, Dropbox, Rackspace, Google Drive, Google Cloud, etc. for 12 months with a quick restore feature for both file and database if you want, on whatever schedule you want, giving you a choice on which files you want to have backed up, with a logging feature, etc. Now keep in mind that cloud services like Dropbox, Google Drive, etc. usually have a limit on how much storage you get for free. So just be aware, depending on what you're capped at, you may need to purchase additional memory on those systems, in addition to the price of this service. At the time of editing this video, Dropbox had 2.75 gigabytes of storage for free, which may be plenty for your website for a while, depending on what you do with it and what else you have in your Dropbox. And Google Drive had 15 gigabytes for free. For a current pricing structure, just Google Dropbox plans or Google Drive plans, etc. I've never used this service, so I'm not making an endorsement of it, but rather just pointing you in the direction of options that you may wish to pursue. It's your website, so it's totally up to you. That's one option. I'm just going to go back to Plugins on the left side and click it. I'll click Add New. I'm going to go over to the Search Plugins box and type Dropbox and hit Enter. This first option is the option that I'm looking for. Now, I haven't personally used this service either, just another option available to you that I want to make you aware of. I'll just click on the More Details for a second. This plugin is free, but like I said earlier, Dropbox is limited to 2.75 gigabytes for free, so you may have to purchase additional space. But having said that, you are not limited to just Dropbox Cloud Backup. You can use the plugin to backup locally, meaning your hard drive on your desktop or laptop, or an external hard drive or USB drive, etc. It offers unlimited Dropbox backups and restores, and unlimited local backups and restores, backup of your files and database, etc. There's the star rating, reviews, a plugin page, and various tabs you can click on above for more information. I'll let you read that if you want. I'm just going to X out of that. In the Search Plugin box, I'm going to type BackUpWordPress Human Made and click Enter. The first option is the one that I've used many times in the past. It's got over 200,000 active installs, last updated 3 months ago, but it's untested with my current version of WordPress. It's got 4.5 stars. If you want to click on the More Details button, you can, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to click on the Install Now, and then click on Activate. It tells me that the plugin is activated. And above that, it tells me that the plugin has set up a default backup schedule for me that will run daily for my database and weekly for my database and files, and that I can modify those schedules if I want. In addition to being able to find the backups in your plugin section of your dashboard, you can also find it by going over to Tools on the left side and then sliding over and down to Backups. But for now, I'm just going to click on the Backups link inside of the plugin itself. Here it tells me that the backup of my database will occur at 11 p.m. and will store that backup here. And below it tells me that there are no backups completed yet. So presumably at 11 p.m. tonight, I will have my first backup done of my whopping 2 megabyte database. So if I wanted to manually have a backup performed right now, I could just click on the Run Now link. But rather than do that, I'm just going to change my settings first. I'll just scroll up a bit. Now you can back up just your database if you want, or do both your database and files, or just files only. I'm going to do databases and files, which creates a larger file size, but at this point my site is really small anyway. I can have it run automatically once a day, once a week, or once a month, or I can run it manually whenever I think about it. I'll just leave it where it is for now. I am going to change the time though, as I'm often still working at 11 p.m. Not that it will draw a huge amount of resources, but I'll show you how to do that anyway. I'll just set it to run at 12:30, just a bit after midnight. The number of backups at 7 is fine. After it gets to 7, it will just delete the oldest, which is cool. I don't really need an email notification of when it backs up my files. I'll scroll down. It just shows that it has not backed up anything for me yet. We'll change that right away. I'll just click on Done. Here it confirms the schedule. It's going to back up my database and files, which is bigger than just my database at 54 megabytes, at 12:30 a.m., storing 7 backups in this location, which is what I asked for. If I want, I don't have to include all files. I have the option of excluding some if I want by clicking on Excludes. I'll just quickly show you that. It tells me that the default rule is to exclude the WP content/backup portion, which is fine because that is basically the directory that it is going to be stored in. It doesn't need to be continuously resaved. But then you have the ability to exclude all of these other files, and it tells you the size of the various files. So if down the road your backup file size is getting quite large, and there are some files that continually get backed up but that you know don't change at all, you can exclude them from getting backed up. Since in this case I would have 7 backups saved in my backups file at any one time, that can add up to a lot of data, some of which might be unnecessarily backed up. I'm not going to exclude any of them for now, so I'll just click Done. I'll just do a manual backup now to show you what that looks like by clicking Run Now. So now you can see that a backup has been completed of both my database and files. If I want, I can download that by clicking Download, or I can delete it. But before I do any of that, I just wanted to show you that this is where my backups are stored. So I'm going to log into my cPanel and show you a little bit more so that you understand where these backups can physically get accessed in the event that you need to restore them at some point in the future. So here I am logged into my cPanel. If you're unsure how to log into your cPanel, just check out video 3 in this video series. The icon I am interested in is the File Manager, which I can get to in Popular Links and then below in Files. I'll click on that to open it up. It's going to open up in a new tab. So inside of here you are seeing everything that is contained on my website, with the folders on the left side that you can expand, and then the corresponding folders and files to the right of them. Under my home directory it has etc., mail, public FTP, but the folder I'm looking for is this one, public HTML, so I'll click on the plus sign to expand that folder. Then inside of that folder I'm just going to go down to this WP content folder and expand that. This folder contains all of the content that is so far on my site. So it has the cache, the themes, an upgrade folder, uploads, etc. But if you remember from the backup area in my WordPress dashboard, this BackUpWordPress with these letters and numbers after it is the file that it stated is where my backups would be stored, so I'm going to click on that. On the right side you can see the file in a zip format, which means it has been compressed and saved. It was updated today because we just did it. It's 25.88 megabytes and so forth. So this is the actual area where your backups reside. The reason I bring all of this up, without trying to be too paranoid sounding, is that while it is great that your website is now getting automatically backed up regularly, it is getting backed up to your hosting account server. But what if your hosting account gets hacked? Hopefully that's a really low probability and never happens, but as you get more and more information on your site and start to hopefully leverage your site into bigger and bigger business and therefore a bigger and bigger asset, you'll want to ensure that that data is protected. So while it might be redundant, I think that it's always best to back up your backup. I've lost data in my life and it can be a monumental pain to recover. And when it comes to business, that can mean a loss of revenue. So you can click on your backed up file and then click the download button above to download a copy of your data to an alternative device like a hard drive on your computer or an external hard drive or USB drive. Unfortunately, doing it this way is not automatic. You have to remember to do it and manually download it. So I wouldn't suggest doing it every time your data gets backed up, but maybe once a month at the beginning, then down to once every 2 weeks or something like that at some point, or whatever works for you. I'm not going to do that now. There really isn't too much on my site. I just wanted to show you that it is possible, so I'll just click Cancel. Okay, so there's a glimpse into my paranoid little world. I'll just collapse this folder and close out of this tab at the top altogether. And while I'm still in my cPanel, I'll just quickly mention that if you changed your mind and you were interested in backing up your files using CodeGuard, the program that you were offered when you signed up for your HostGator account, you can still do that by clicking Backup here in Files. You can read the information here on CodeGuard if you're interested, and click the Get CodeGuard link if you want to move forward with that. At the bottom of the page, HostGator also has a free service where you can get automated backups as well that you can save locally if you want to scroll down to check that out. I'm just going to hit the Back button, and if you're interested in having HostGator back up your files, just click on this backup wizard here and they will walk you through how to do that for a full or partial backup. I'm just going to go back out of here and show you one more thing. If you are ever curious about how much disk space you have used and how much is available within your plan as it relates to backups or otherwise, just click inside of this disk usage icon. You can see that out of my limit, I'm only using a really small portion here. As time goes by, this will obviously change. That's all I really wanted to show you here. I'll just back out of this. You can also access your file manager via your customer portal as well if you click on the Hosting tab, then click on Files and Folders on the Hosting bar, and then here you can open up your file manager or access backups and backup wizard. Let's just go back to the WordPress admin area by clicking this tab. I wanted to show you where your backups get stored in your file manager in your cPanel so you know where it is, but you don't have to go there to do a manual backup to a hard drive. This BackUpWordPress plugin gives you the ability to do that right inside of here. I'll just click Download. My browser, in this case Firefox, is just asking me if I want to save this file to my hard drive. I'll click OK. And that big blue arrow tells me that it is downloaded. I'm on a Mac, so I'll just go to my Finder to get to my Downloads folder, and there it is at the top, saved as a zip file. I've got an external hard drive connected to my laptop via USB, so I'll just drag it down to the Seagate hard drive and drop it in there, in a folder I've already created for it, TRU LIFT Website Backups, and close that up. Now once a month or whenever you're comfortable with, you can manually back up all of your data to a local drive. I fully realize that this is some pretty dry stuff, and perhaps I'm beating it to death, but I know your data is important, so I just wanted to give you a few options so you can choose what works best for you and show you a few things so that you are comfortable with the process. And lastly, it tells me that BackUpWordPress has been updated, and then invites me to check out their extensions, which I'll do by clicking the extensions link at the top. And for $24 or so, you can purchase an extension through the BackUpWordPress plugin to back up your data automatically to not just your server, but to your favorite cloud-based system, including Dropbox, Google Drive, Amazon S3, and so forth. So that's it for backups. You've got multiple options. Purchase WordPress backups through the marketplace for $99, download the Dropbox plugin, download the BackUpWordPress plugin and manually backup to our local hard drive, the route that I'm going, purchase the BackUpWordPress extension to back up to the cloud for $24, purchase CodeGuard, or use HostGator's free service in your control panel. Plugin 3 done. Let's get number 4. I'll just go back to the sidebar, hover over Plugins, and click on Add New. Something incredibly important from a user experience perspective, but more specifically from a search engine perspective, is search engine optimization. A really great plugin that I've used for years for SEO is the All-in-One SEO Pack plugin by Michael Torbert. It's the first option here. Like I said, I've used it for many years and I think that it's a great program. Having said that, I think for this site I'm going to try something new, as it has been highly recommended to me by quite a few people for a long time now. If you're interested in learning more about the All-in-One SEO Pack, by all means click on the More Details to find out more. If you do try it out, I'll quickly also recommend that you install another plugin called Google XML Sitemaps by Arnie Braccold. I think that All-in-One SEO also offers XML sitemap support now, but the Google XML Sitemaps plugin is a really solid plugin. If you are not sure what XML sitemaps are, I will deal with that in the next video, video 9 in the series, where I will go through the configuration of an SEO plugin. But since the plugin that I'm about to install already has XML sitemap submission as part of the plugin, I'll just give the recommended plugin a shot. And that is the Yoast SEO plugin. So I'll just type Yoast SEO in the search box and hit enter. And this first option is the one that I'm after, so I'll just click Install Now. And then activate it. You'll notice that the plugin has installed something new on the top bar of my dashboard. They have notifications, keyword research, and then SEO settings. And then something similar in the side column down here with Dashboard, Search Console, and Go Premium. Let's just start on the dashboard. You'll notice right off the bat 2 problems that it already has found with the search engine optimization of my site. The first one, which it considers a huge issue, relates to the fact that I'm blocking access to the search engine robots. And yeah, from an SEO perspective, that is huge, that's for sure. That has to do with the fact that my site is not live yet, as I still have yet to launch my site by clicking the link at the top. Until then, the robots will be blocked from crawling my site, and I'm aware of that. And the second problem has to do with the fact that I've kept the default WordPress tagline, which I'm aware of as well, and will fix that. So I'll just leave these 2 problems be for now. I'm not super concerned. I don't want to go over too much of the configuration of the Yoast SEO plugin, as I will be doing an entire video on that in video 9, but just in case you don't join me there, I'll quickly run through the tabs at the top here. In the General tab, you have the ability to open a configuration wizard that will walk you through the configuration of the plugin. Like I said, I'll be covering that in the next video, so I'm not going to bother right now. I'll just click on Features. I'll just scroll down a bit. One thing that I want to do here now is to enable this top Advanced Settings area, because I want to have sitemaps enabled. Before I do that, I'll just draw your attention to the left side column. You can see that under SEO, we have Dashboard, Search Console, which is just the former Google Webmaster Tools, and then Go Premium. Once I enable this area, and since I've made a change, I'll just click on Save Changes. You'll notice now that my sidebar for SEO has a lot more features added. I'll click on Company Information. I can change a few things here, like upload my logo and whatnot. I'm not going to do any of that stuff right now. Webmaster Tools. You can tie this area in with verification of various search engines so that Yoast can pull data from the respective webmaster tools. I'll do that later for Google and possibly Bing. And then in security, this area can be enabled if you have a few writers, for example, writing content on your site for you or with you, which I don't have in my case, so I'll just leave it. Like I said, you've got more options available in the left column, which I'll talk about in the next video, including titles and metas, social, XML sitemaps, advanced, and tools, and then the previous options of Google Search Console and an upsell to Yoast Premium services. We're almost ready to install the next plugin, but I'll quickly go back up to the Dashboard tab and click on it to show you that Yoast has added a new tile in your dashboard down here, which is a quick overview to show you your SEO scores on your published posts if you want to make some changes to them. I'm just going to go over to Posts in the side column and click on Posts. Then I'm just going to go into this post, for example, by clicking on it. One thing you'll notice is that on the right side, you now have this area here that highlights some areas relating to readability and SEO, in this case telling me my readability needs improvement and my SEO is not available. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom of the post, you also have this area which contains your SEO title and meta description. And again, if you're not sure what all this is, I will explain it in video 9, but you can edit your snippet here if you want. It gives you a little analysis from an SEO perspective down here that is color-coded or prioritized based on what they feel is the most important to fix first. You can click on the share icon up here on the side and this gear icon here, but we're not going to do that right now. I just wanted to show you that it exists, so let's keep rolling with the next plugin, plugin 5. I'll hover over Plugins and then click on Add New. I'll click on Search Plugins and enter Broken Link Checker. And this first one by Yanis Easts, I think it is, and Vladimir, I'm not even going to try the last name, is the one that I'm interested in. So I'll just click Install Now. And once that is installed, I'll click on Activate. It's blue, so it's activated. Now the purpose of this plugin is to help prevent dead links or broken links, which is just a link on your site that once clicked doesn't go to where it's intended, or more likely doesn't go anywhere at all, or to a 404 page. This can happen for a variety of reasons, but the most common is a situation where you link from one post to another, but then subsequently delete the second post, but forget to update the original link. A personal example I just had on one of my other sites is I linked from a post of mine to a Wikipedia page if someone wanted a definition of a term I was using in that post. For some reason, Wikipedia removed that page from their site, and consequently my link was broken. User experience on our site is important. You don't want people clicking on links that don't go where they should and frustrate the user. It is also bad from an SEO perspective, as search engines penalize you for broken links. But unless you are constantly checking your links to make sure they work properly, which, if you have a larger site, is just too tedious, then a plugin like this can do that for you. Anyway, you can click on Settings if you want, but I'm just going to go up to the home screen of the dashboard to show you where the plugin shows up. If you scroll down to here, you can see that this broken link checker area gives you a heads up on any potential problems you may have. And if you go back to the sidebar in Tools, you can also get to Broken Links, which takes you to an area where your broken links will show up once they are discovered. It looks like so far I'm good, nothing broken. And then lastly, if you hover over Settings in the sidebar and click on Link Checker, here you can basically configure the plugin to your personal needs. I'll more or less keep the default settings, but there are some minor tweaks I'll add. I'm good with it checking every 72 hours and emailing me if it finds any broken links. I do want to try and fix those as soon as possible. If you leave the notification email blank, it will just send to the email address that you have in your WordPress profile, which is good for me. In link tweaks, I'm going to check this Stop Search Engines from Following Broken Links. Like I said, you don't want to get penalized in the search engines for dead links. I'd rather be given the chance to fix them first. Then I'll also check Apply Custom Formatting to remove links, which, in standard form, just allows the viewer to see a strike-through of links that have been removed. And I'll just click Save Changes. Okay, settings saved. Then I'll go into the Look for Links In tab. I'm definitely going to have links in opt-in forms on my site, so I'll check that. You could also have the plugin point out broken links in your drafts, so you can fix them before you publish them. I'm hoping I catch them before I publish, so I'll keep that unchecked so that I don't get a ton of reminders before I go live with a post. Of course, it's up to you. I'll just save those changes. Then in the Which Links to Check tab, I'll check a few things here. Plain text URLs, definitely. Embedded YouTube videos, and with the old embed code, yep. Embedded YouTube playlists and Smart YouTube, yep, I can do those as well. I'd likely have a decent amount of YouTube videos embedded in my posts, so I'll cover those bases. Not planning on Vimeo, Dailymotion, or Google videos at this point. I don't need to exclude any at this point. Not sure why you would want to exclude any broken links, so I'll just save my changes. Protocols and APIs can stay default. In the Advanced tab, don't really see any defaults that I need to change, so I'll just go back to the General tab. And that should do it for that. Let's get at least one more plugin. Back to Plugins and Add New. In the search box, I'll type DuracellTomi, DuracellTomi, and click Enter. The first option is the one I'm looking for, DuracellTomi's Google Tag Manager for WordPress. Either right away or in time, you may want to add various scripts, which are just short pieces of code, directly into the rest of the HTML code for your site, for things like Google Analytics or Facebook or Google Pixels, which drop cookies onto the computers of those that visit your site so that you can follow up with them using advertising, etc. That's a whole other topic area called retargeting or remarketing, which we'll be dealing with a fair bit on our site at trueliftdigital.com as soon as we get that site up and running. But for now, just know that there is code that you will likely want to add to your HTML, and if you are not tech savvy, one of the easiest ways to do that is to add all of your scripts using Google Tag Manager. FYI, I will be doing another video on Google Tag Manager in this series, video 12. Anyway, this plugin here is an easy way to add the Google Tag Manager code into your HTML, and that's why I'm going to install it. I'll quickly mention that depending on the theme you get, you may have an easy script install section that you will want to look around in your theme for, or just Google the name of your theme if you get one and easy script install, and you should find out if there is one or not. Since I don't know yet which theme I'm going to install, and since you may just be staying with WordPress's default theme, let's just put this plugin into WordPress, and if you find out later that you don't need it, just deactivate it and uninstall the plugin. I'll just click Install Now, and then activate it. It tells me that the plugin is activated, and above that, if I want to start using Google Tag Manager, I can enter my GTM ID up at the top. We'll do that in video 12. If you want to jump ahead before viewing video 12 and quickly check out more information on this plugin, you can click on the Settings button down here, inside of the Plugin tile, or hover over Settings on the side here, and then Google Tag Manager to see some of the configuration options that you have available in this plugin. So I said that there are 6 must-have plugins, and that is number 6. Now there are actually 7 must-have plugins, so I do have a bonus one for you. The reason I didn't call this video the 7 must-have plugins is because it really is a personal choice, what you want to have for this plugin. If you don't have an easy way for your visitors to share your posts and pages, you are throwing away the opportunity to possibly increase the organic reach of your site tremendously, so a must-have plugin is a social sharing plugin. So let's go one more time over to Plugins and Add New. In the Search Plugins box, just put Social Sharing and hit Enter. You will get a list of tons of social sharing plugins that are available to you inside of WordPress. Rather than tell you which one I think you should get, I think it is a good idea for you to take the information I shared with you earlier about how to evaluate plugins by checking star ratings, active installs, details, etc., and find one that you feel will work best for you based on your personal style and that of your website. The first one, for example, Social Share, with 1 star and 2 reviews, might be something you want to stay away from. But scroll down and check the others and find one that you think might work for you and give it a try. And that's it for plugins. Another item checked off your web presence checklist and another step closer to getting your word out to the world. In this video, we installed, activated, and discussed 6 plugins and then a bonus plugin that you should also install. They were Akismet for spam protection, WP SuperCache to ensure your site speed is nice and quick, BackUpWordPress to keep your data safe, Yoast SEO to help get and keep your site in the search engine results, Broken Link Checker to help with SEO and save you effort manually checking links, and DuracellTomi's Google Tag Manager to make script installs easier for you, which we'll dig deeper into in video 12. And then a social plugin is a must to make it easier for visitors to share your content. In the next video, video 9, I'll give a quick introduction to what SEO is, and then we're going to configure the Yoast SEO plugin that we just installed in this video. SEO is incredibly important to the success of your site by helping to increase your traffic, so you will want to get your Yoast SEO plugin working for you and better understand how to optimize your site. We're getting closer to the end of this video series as well. Still to go after configuring the Yoast SEO plugin is installing a theme in video 10, setting up social profiles in video 11, and getting your various tracking codes installed in video 12. I hope to have you join me there as well. Did this video help you get a better understanding of what plugins are and how they can help you add to the functionality of WordPress? I have found these plugins to help me tremendously in my pursuit of better websites. How about you? Are there any that you would add to this list? Let me know in the comments below. I create these videos to help you move your business forward faster. I want to know if I'm helping you or not. Anything you can add to help me improve these videos would be much appreciated. As always, there will be a link to all the resources I mentioned in this video in the description area below this video. And if you like this video and want to see more from us on this topic or others to help your business in the area of digital marketing, why not subscribe to our channel by clicking the link on your screen right now to get notified when we put out new content. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to jump to video 9 right now, click the link on your screen. I'll see you over there.